everybody, welcome to another episode of George Reviews. I am the 80s Transformer fan, and today on George Reviews, I'll be taking a look at another Masterverse figure. It is Master of the Universe Revelations Moss Man. This is from the Netflix original series. It is by Mattel. Here is the window box packaging. You can see Moss Man in the packaging. You can see all of his accessories clearly. If you chose to collect this line and didn't want to open these figures, some people are mitten box collectors. This would be a great addition to add because of the window. Spin inside of the box. Inside the box it says Moss Man, Heroic Spy, Master of Camouflage. Back of the box, it is some nice artwork. I guess they're searching. Skeletor and Beastman are searching for Moss Man, but can't find him because he's blending in. They show you the figures you can buy in this wave that are also available. He has a little bit of a bio right there. If you want to check that out, you can pause that and read that. Side of the box, more art. It's different artwork. That is nice. Some different artwork right there. Some detailing in his face, like with the beard and the eyebrows, like sort of like a leaf and growing out of him. That is pretty cool. Pretty cool. So let's get Moss Man open. I'm anticipating this guy, not to prejudge, but being the weakest figure in the line. When I saw him, I was not very impressed. I like the character, and as far as the box package on my channel as part of my presentation, and show you there's nothing else in the box. That is it. It's this little background right here. And he just didn't look, or still doesn't look that great to me. Get him out of the box. Like the moss, like looks wet and like nasty. I don't know, but might learn to like it as it goes. Extending, branching hand. Man, that's solid right there. 2 extra sets of hand that looks an awful lot alike. I'm going to have to keep them apart. I think I'm going to kick off the video where I just left off with the hands. Bring out the first set of hands. I don't know if this is like a reaching set of hands or he's about to transform his hands or extend them or something like that. And here is the next set, which it sort of kind of looks like more of the same. All right, now here are the 2 sets of hands, and tell me what do these hands differ at? My eyes think I see a slight difference, but that could be me just like desiring it to be different. Like there's like an indentation by this thumb right here that's not present over here. You can see that, those 2, and I don't know about these 2. These 2 look exactly the same to me. Turn them over. That kind of sucks. And then even if they are that much different, it sucks that it's even that close. And let's take a look at the hands. On the back of this one hand, the leaves kind of look like scales. I guess they're leaves laying down in the same direction. And this one kind of looks like mush. So it's the same for the other 2 hands. Yeah, we got the scales, and we got like the mush. Like you can see a little bit. Because the light hits it right, you can see that it's leaves, but it's like less detail over here than it is over here. So yeah, that's kind of a disappointment. And then he has the branching, growing, reaching. Man, he could have really used 2 of these, and it is so hard. Like it is so hard. He has this branching hand. Here's the back of the palm. It's more mush than leaf. And for some reason, he has some yellow splotching right here. We don't see yellow on the figure anywhere. As long as he can hold the figure, I guess that's good enough. So he was only in a cartoon for a hot minute, spoiler. But he was pretty cool while he was there. And then he had an awesome death, spoiler again. Skeletor roasted his ass. I'm going to bring him closer in the actual stance he was packaged in. Take a look at him. He looks really good on film. I'm looking at the monitor. He looks better in the monitor than in person. Has a little leaf jutting out right here. That's kind of cool. Spin him around. He's mostly green plastic with a few different green paint apps and a couple different greens in here. He has the green for the moss. I believe this is molded in green plastic, and the belt is molded in this brownish green, and pretty much everything else is an overlay of paint apps. This is a separate piece of plastic. It's the same as the belt. It just has a wash on the top. The paint looks good. The figure looks good. It feels good. The feeling of these figures they feel very high quality. They feel like good figures. It's not like cheap junk that I'm kind of used to Mattel stamping out. So anyway, let's take a look at Moss's face. He has all white eyes. He has an open mouth. So he's sort of yelling and screaming. He has a separate color to the top of his head. I think that's the color of the plastic. Let's get his head off and see. And he really could have used interchangeable head. Yeah, it's the lighter green plastic and the darker greens are paint apps on his head. There's the ball peg. There's the hole in the top. So yeah, he looks pretty good as far as his paint work. You know, it's done pretty good, but it's this just looks like wet, nasty. Like you would never want to touch this guy. Like ew. I have a slight crack or opening right here where it's not coming together too well. It's kind of a bummer. Get my nail in there pretty good. So let's run down Mossman's articulation. We'll take a further look at him as we go. Mossman head 360s on that ball joint. And because of that chin, I don't think we're going to get much down. A beard. You can get some uppage right there. Take a look at that. His arms come up this far. Despite that little scope, it goes right in the shoulders, like a little bulky scope, but it goes right in there until it hits the leaf. Same thing on this side. Get a little bit higher on this side. 360s at that shoulder. 360s at the bicep swivel. He has the double hinge elbow. This is standard on these figures so far. He has the wrist articulating 360 and it hinges in and out. His is a little bit loose on this hinge in and out. Could be due to the scope and it's not like pegging all the way in there because this is kind of bulky and this is kind of bulky. Hands look great, by the way. They look like tree branches. They look a little bit better than the other hands. I don't know if it's because it's closed and we can see the knuckle, but that looks great. Coming to his abdomen, and like He-Man, the crunch is hidden. I guess like with the layer of paint and the design right there, the ab motion is hidden pretty well. Like that a lot. It won't 360 on this, but you can get a little bit of movement out of there. A little extra posability. Waist 360, coming down to his loincloth. Like this is two pieces. You have the piece for the belt, then you have the piece for the loincloth. This is pretty soft. Comes up on all sides. The belt does not move at all. The belt is hard. His legs, get them to spread this far. Got a lot to the back. Unlike most of these figures, I don't know if his butt is designed different or it's kicking out to the side, but we get a lot to the back on this guy. To the front, huge leaping motion to the front. Thigh cut right here, and the molding and detail on the legs is great, really is. 360 out of that thigh joint. And the vines, it's like sculpted vines and muscle at the same time. He get his leg bent back this far. It's a double hinge joint, but he's not getting that much out of it because of the bulk right here, and it's to be expected. And because of the giant molded mossy kneecaps, it breaks up a lot. Yeah, but what are you gonna do? You can see the different colors and the different plastics kind of coming together right there. Not too great. And coming down, he has no shin cut, no cut right there, no rotation. Coming down to his foot, I'm expecting that to 360 force because nothing else does. And he has some front to back, and is it rocking? I don't know if that's rocking. I'm just pushing it. It just has some give in there. Guess that's a rocker, is it? But yeah, guess close enough. So that's all this articulation. You can see the vine. There's another leaf right here. The vine work going throughout him, and it just seems. Some of it, like here, I guess it's supposed to be a collarbone. It kind of seems like desperately random. Like there's like just put it anywhere, just make it look like it's there, and it just doesn't have any reason to it. I don't know, like they could have kept coming down to his legs because it kind of just stopped right here, and then it's just like just a bulk of it right here. I don't know. And his feet are meant to be like roots. The toes or whatever are like roots, and it more than looking like just some type of rooted tree feet, it looks more like feet base where he make sure he can stand up and not fall over. That's kind of what it looks like to me. Like make sure this guy doesn't fall over. Let's take a look at Mossman's only accessory, which is his hands. And I guess it really doesn't matter what we get. Like I kind of went over it, but man, okay. And I actually like the hands that he's packaged with. Nice gripping hands, kind of open hands a little bit. So pop these out. It's a little bit hard. Pop this one out. Maybe the articulation in the wrist is different on the hands, but that's what we get out of it. These are the hands. Look at that face, man. He looks upset. Get out of my swamp. So this is what we get with the extra hands, and I'm not gonna bother because the hands looks the same. I'm not gonna bother with the other set. I'm gonna get this hand off, get the vine growing, reaching hand, and hopefully he can hold it up. Is it a right hand? Yeah, I think it's a right hand. You can kind of use it, like you can tell like this part is the thumb, but I think you can use it for both hands. It doesn't matter. You wanted to, but I guess this is meant to be the thumb or the overall shape of the hand. So get him in his right hand and see how he holds. Yeah, no. Oh, I should have taken that Viagra. Oh no. Oh, yeah, that's kind of sucks right there. But I'm sure I can roll it over a bit. And nope, we'll sideways. You can get it kind of sideways, but he's pulling forward. And I don't think because of the weight of this, because it's so thick. Like toy companies love hollowing things out. This one should have been hollowed out a little bit more. I don't know if they made it thick so he can hold another figure without it falling out. But you see it's pulling him forward, and he's gonna come forward. If I get it, yeah. And I think that's why they tried to make the feet big branching roots. So you can get it. You know, I'm used to janky figures, and you can work with a figure and make them stand up. We're gonna see if he can rope somebody up. All right, here's Evil Lyn in his grasp, and it's just not. I'm trying to lean him back. Not only is the arm not holding, the elbow's not holding, the wrist is not holding. It's like it's giving it everywhere but the shoulder is giving up on this. And I'm trying to get him to rear back and balance the weight. Same time, let me try her this way. Okay, I kind of got her foot wedged on his leg. Yeah, I got it. It took a second, but I got it. I had to wedge her foot on his leg and lean him back. His feet kind of weird, and he's supporting her with that branch hand, but it was a chore. And like I said it in a few other reviews. I don't know if it's in the Master Universe review, but these guys, like, when they come up with these toys and they get their like final samples and even their prototypes, they go before like a board or a panel, and these guys sit around a table, bring these figures out, and different guys get their hands on these figures. You know, and I'm sure they had to like actually play with it, unless the ones they got was better than these. And someone had to say, like, why is that hand so heavy? Like, you see just the extra hand alone dropping it down. Now I just knew by the time you put a feet, you see it in the package, you know it's gonna be a problem. Like, that thing's solid. And I like my toys solid, but man, it should have been softer, lighter, everything, you know. So, all right, let's get a couple of comparisons on here. Gonna give Moss Man the size up and a rundown. Here he is next to Evil Lyn, because I just had her out here. Moss Man with He-Man. Here he is with Bruticus. Wait, what? Thundercats Panthro. Filmation Grizzlord. Alright, this is my last one. The Master Universe Classics Moss Man. I bring it in not just to show you the two line difference, but he's packed in with two different heads. He has two heads. He has the gentle face, how he was known as in the Filmation cartoon in his bio, and he has the Beastman look-alike face. And I'm not sure if they'll use this head again with Beastman, but it's kind of cool, and you know how they swapped out guys and they were look-alikes. So I hope we get that Beastman head that kind of looks like this when they get around Beastman, but I kind of doubt it because they're drawn different. But he could have used interchangeable heads, because that hand thing was just a waste of time with the two same hands. And also I want to point out the fact that this one is flocked, and clearly this one is not. And a lot of people expecting it to be flocked. I didn't think they would make it flocked because they were going crazy with the articulation, even though this one is highly articulated. But I was hoping we get the smell. This one, the last few, the only two Moss Man toys I know of, I don't know if they made one in 2000X, but this one and the Vintage one has the smell, and this one doesn't have the smell at all. I'm sure you can add it yourself. It would have been cool if they had kept the Moss Man pine smell, but they did not. All right, to give my final breakdown for this figure, after posing around a little bit, I did realize that the one hand is more open, and this one is sort of kind of gripping to get a staff or something in his hand. It's a little bit tighter. I don't know why that wasn't overly obvious to me at first. You turn them this way, you can clearly see this one is much more gripping, but the second hand, the left hand, is pretty much identical as far as I can see, which is still like, why? We could have got something else. We could have got an extra head for Mossman. That would have been cool because he's kind of stuck with this, leave this place. And speaking of his character, in the first episode of the Netflix series, he grew to a giant size, which made me wonder or think that Master of the Universe needs to get into the whole Build-A-Figure thing. He'd be much cooler as a giant Build-A-Figure, and we wouldn't have to worry about him being able to hold or support another character, and they could hollow this stuff out. But they need to get in the whole Build-A-Figure thing. But as far as the figure, it's just not a lot going on with it. He's just a green man, and like the moss, like I said, the texture of it just looks wet. And I know moss gets wet, it's rainy and damp and all of that, but I like if he looked more like the loincloth all over, because it's kind of more stringy. This is kind of more compacted moss, and I don't like it. They could have put a better little wash on the vines and on the figure overall. He just could have used a little bit more. And I knew he wasn't going to be that great of a figure. Like, I got him to complete the first wave. It's the first new line, sort of kind of aimed at adults more than Origins is. I wanted to get the whole first wave, and after this, I'm going to pick and pull my favorites. But I just did want to get on the ground and get the first wave of these guys. And I do recommend anybody who like Master of the Universe to get in on the first wave of these guys. So I don't know if I took a look at his ears. He has the pointed ears. But yeah, I do recommend it in that aspect. But it is not a great figure. And Mossman, he just was signature for the flocking and the smell, and he has neither. So out of all the Master of the Universe figures I reviewed so far, I think, 5 in the first wave, I think he's coming in dead last. He's not a bad figure, he's just coming in last. So that's all I got. Thank you for watching another episode of George Reviews. The reviews are every toy has a story.